Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is a topic video. It could also be looked at as sort of a face-off, but we will call it topic. This is date codes. Now, I have been encountering issues as of late, and I have heard from others in comment sections and elsewhere of problems they have been having. So I would like to cover two companies facing off against each other as far as their date codes go. And those two companies are U.S. Smokeless and American Snuff. They are probably the two biggest brands, or rather companies covering the most brands. So to show you what I'm talking about before I get into my own personal opinion of the matter, I'm going to take it over the desk and show you a side-by-side of the two companies' types of date codes. Back in a moment. And here we are. Okay, so basically everybody on this channel will know what is what here without even having to read the small print. What you have is a U.S. Smokeless product on the right. And as you can see, it has sell by Feb 26, 2023. It is very straightforward. There is no question. The way they have it etched in the plastic, even if the can is beat up, normally, if you get in the right light, you will still be able to read it. Over here, you have the American Snuff product. Now, they have a sticker on their back, and in this black bar above the word Kodiak, you have the date code. Now, most of it you do not need to know anything about. All you need to know is the last letter of it and the last number, which in this case is J2. So, I don't know if I've got this far enough out for you to see. Let's try this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, but you skip the I, so that's also J. 9. 9 corresponding month is September 2022. Okay? The 2 is the last number of the year. Here's the issue with this. Number one, that's sort of like, I know this because I do this channel, and people will be aware of it in general, but only in certain areas and of certain demographics. It's also on a sticker, whereas this is etched into the actual plastic. This is not. So we're going to take it back up top, and I'm going to touch on this and tell you what I think. And here we are back up top. So the U.S. Smokeless products, it's very straightforward. It's there, it's clear, there's no real getting around it. And that is why they are able to stamp guaranteed fresh. The laser etching that they do in the back of their cans and the clear sell by date leaves nothing to the imagination, and those survive through getting scuffed up and whatnot. Although, to tell you the truth, I find that U.S. Smokeless products tend not to get scuffed up as much. I don't know why that is. That's not the point of this video. So that's all very clear, straightforward, and really no way to, wiggle around that. Then you have the American Snuff products. It's a little bit dicey as to how much of the using population knows what the codes are. All right. And it leaves a lot of question as to, oh, wait a minute, well, so-and-so was supposed to tell so-and-so what it meant, but they must have not done it, so it's on them. And I'll explain what I mean by that. But also, it's a sticker, and those stickers can come off. And I've actually heard somebody saying recently that their date code strip, that little black bar that the date code's in, was cut out. Like somebody went in, I guess, with an X-Acto knife and cut out the whole box. Here's the problem with this that is a problem to me. So, in the hypothetical situation that occurs, you have the company make the product and they put that sticker on. This is American Snuff. And the company disseminates to their vendors as to what the date code is and how long it's good out. And by the way, it's 5 months for American Snuff from the date you see on there. And then the vendors are supposed to disseminate that information to the actual stores that they're vending to. And then the stores, once they understand that, are supposed to pull the product and send it back to the vendor, and then the vendor will get refunded the money when they get it back to the company. And everybody gets refunded going back. If something goes wrong and you buy a can and you get home and you didn't check, and then next thing you know, you realize by looking at the number that it's a year out of date, you could try to complain to someone. The store, the vendor, if you were really upset about it, you could write the company, email the company, whatever you do now, call the company. But you're going to get this. If you go to the store, they're going to play dumb and that they were not made aware from the vendor. If you go to the vendor's going to say, well, we told the store, that's on them. If you went to the company, they're going to apologize, probably refund you in some way, but then they're going to say, we do train our vendors and they are supposed to tell the store. What I'm getting at here, and the key phrase, the key takeaway in my mind from this whole deal, is one term. 2 words, 1 term. Plausible deniability. Which means they have set up a situation where there has been purposely put into effect one big gray area. Okay? Now, this is my opinion, but there would be only one reason why they would do it the way they do with a sticker with that somewhat, confusing code instead of just putting on the back sell by. In rural areas that have a lot of smokeless tobacco use, everybody probably will be on page with that. The vendors will get the word to the stores will know, they will pull product as needed. Here is where it would pay off to have a really big gray area for American Snuff when it comes to this. In metropolitan areas, 1, they don't have the amount of users in those areas. Anything they ship into those areas will be sitting longer. If you wanted to plausibly deny your knowing about a product sitting on a shelf as long as possible, you'd put the date code in code, literally a code, on a sticker on the back of the can. That way, at any point, if anybody questions as to why this can's been sitting in the rack for 2 years, everybody can blame everybody else, but there'll be a lot of confusion with it, and nobody will get an answer in the end. Now, obviously, if you are sitting in mid-Alabama in a farming community, and everybody dips, everybody will probably be on board keeping the date stuff right, but that's because it's in their best interest because they're selling the product anyway. In the places like, let's say, I don't know, metropolitan Philadelphia, where the stuff doesn't really sell, well, let's just see if we can not have to restock that more than we have to. that's my take on date codes. There are other companies, obviously. The best besides U.S. Smokeless, which would be Skoal or Copenhagen, Husky, and Red Seal, the best besides that is Stoker's. Stoker's has a very, now it is on a sticker, but it has a very clear best if used by date, okay, which is usually way, way out. Pinkerton Timberwolf Longhorn has a code again, all right, but it is a lower tier brand, and they sort of have some wiggle room, all right. They are not charging $7 a can. So then you have Swisher, which, to tell you the truth, sometimes I have found the drier that stuff is, the better. Okay, so if it's a little bit out of date, that may be a good thing. But they have another very, very confusing, like real confusing date code thing going on that used to be on the side of the can and now is on the back of the can. But again, they're low tier products. You're not paying, or you should not be paying, $7 for a can of kayak. And if you did pay $7 for a can of kayak, then no offense, but you may deserve a dried out can anyway. Because what were you thinking? Anyway, I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. This has been my take on it. It has come up as of recently getting supplies in here, which is why it was on the top of my mind, and then I saw people talking about it in comment sections. So there it is. Again, this is my opinion, obviously. I'm just trying to make sense as to why certain companies would do things certain ways. And with that, I go. I do thank you for watching. Do take care of yourselves, and as always, God bless.